What's up, everybody? This is War with another video. Now, if you guys have been following me, you know that I've had some recent computer issues where with people, I'm not going to make too much remarks about it because people are usually not so great toward others. And so I had to start over in a very early build, which means I lost, what, maybe a month and a half worth of work. But we're back. We're going to start getting the steamroller engine going because we're going to have us a game pretty soon that we can play. Now, we're going to address the elephant in the room, and that is going to be of I'm not going to talk about the channel state and things like that yet because it's just not relevant to this video. But we will address that elephant in the room in another video. It'll probably be a rant video, so you'll probably enjoy that one. So, today's video is going to be about player controller and getting our controller moving around and not have it integrated in a silly, stupid way where we can change it out to a rigid body later or anything else. So, boom, boom, we've got a movement script right here. Then we got this player. Now, the player is responsible for speed, gravity, and just overall input stuff. The movement is to tell what kind of body the player has. If we got a player that has no physics animation, we can put a script for that. If we have a multiplayer one where we have got to do animations and everything else, we can write a different script for it without affecting our player. Now, if you have not and you have no clue on how we're doing this, you need to see our video on interfaces. Very good video. I go over it in detail on how interfaces work and what's good, what's bad, and all that good stuff. Now, you can also do it with inheritance, and that's another video that's on the channel if you so please want to go view. But it's irrelevant in the video. We'll probably glaze over it. But to get to the fabulous part is if we want to change it out, it's not going to really affect our player. Well, it'll affect our player values, speed, things like that, because rigid bodies are different than player controllers. Now, the reason why I chose to go with this type of approach is because I don't want to write a freaking script 100 times with a bunch of duplicate crap in it anyway. So, what I've done is just interfaced it out into movements. Now, it's very simple to do. Let's bring up our code screen and get it going. And it's pretty much like this. Okay? In a script, we do speed and all that great stuff, and we have a interface of iMoveScript. Okay, we get the component of it because we can't physically put it in there because it can't serialize and stuff. Well, we could use inheritance and stuff, but I don't want to go and use all that because then you can override and do a bunch of other stuff. I'd much rather just have the interface. Because if I go and want to take the interface out, it's a lot easier than using an inheritance. So here's the interface. Just a small one, very easy, is grounded and move. That takes an input. We do not have a update in anywhere in the script. We have a start in case we want to get components and stuff, which I can literally delete this. It would not matter. See? Delete, delete, and it wouldn't matter. We've integrated into this. So it does controller.move, which is a Unity function for the character controller. Now, you're probably thinking, well, why are you doing it here instead of in the player? Because I want to be able to change this out later, maybe if I want a rigid body controller, which most people like those. And most of the calculation stuff here is just to get the direction for moving anyway. The speed, you're going to have force or whatever for rigid bodies. Some use transform.translate or physics.force and stuff. This basically just gives you inputs and speed and a direction. That's it. It really doesn't do that much. You can always ignore the movement.y in your movement script. Okay? So when you do the movement stuff, you can always just change this value from values and put it 0. Basically go down here and goes values.y equals 0. Boom. Done. You could always ignore that value. And of course, you know, it's kind of forcing it and stuff, but it's not that big of a deal to do it in another script. So if I went and done multiple scripts for just each controller that I want before I get to the final version of my game, it would actually be a real pain because, you know, it's so twisted in there. I would have to go through lines and lines of code, and who wants to do that? And if you have multiple people on your team, like more than one person, like for me, this would be fine to put it all in one script. I would be okay with it because it's just me. But if you have a team of people and you have a problem, it's going to be a lot easier to solve that issue because it may come from this script, or maybe it's just from this one. But later on, if we do maybe multiplayer, we can come down here and put a void update. Okay, because this is a regular script and stuff. We can put a void update, and now since we have this, and oh man, animation clip, animator, yeah, here we go. And you know, we've got an animator here now, so then we can start, you know, doing our stuff here with animations. And this can be a completely different script later on, where let's say for instance you want to do multiplayer, then you have single player. Well, it's a real pain, and it's kind of pointless to have a full, like, outer body view, like third person view for a first person game, but you want to see the body of your character. Well, because of how video cards work and everything, is let's do a small example of how they work. Okay, you see this mesh? This mesh is what everybody sees. You know, the little triangle or square or whatever this thing is. Cylinder, yeah, cylinder. Okay, because this is like 5 o'clock in the morning for me and stuff, so yeah, it's gonna be, yeah. But anyway, we've got our little cylinder. Well, when we're moving around and everything else, we can't see this cylinder. So it doesn't really matter. But see, this thing is in the view of our... How can we get rid of this plane so we can see this? Okay. See these little lines right here? May be hard in the video, but it's for our camera. Okay, since it's in anywhere near this and things, it's in the view. Okay, so when it's in the view like this, and anytime a camera sees something in the view, it draws the entire mesh. It has to draw all of it. It just can't draw one side of it or a little bit of the vertices that's inside of it. Okay, like if I see a teeny piece right here, the video card sees the whole entire mesh. So with that being said, what was my point? Oh yes, third person view, completely utterly useless in this case, because we don't care about the whole thing. We want to see our weapons or blow some stuff up, right? So it's completely irrelevant to have a third person body for a first person game unless we're in multiplayer. So it's single player, we need a different type of script to handle stuff so all this other stuff doesn't get rendered. So what's the benefit of doing that? Well, if it's not drawing all this mesh, we can have a higher poly in single player, or put more of the performance gain, you know, because we're going to have our regular stuff in our view, which is basically our weapons. Okay, because we could care less about anything else besides our weapons and guys in front of us. But for the most part, this gives us FPS gains. Okay, I want to see the guy that's running after me, fine, but I don't want to see this other garbage. You know, I might want to see the legs and stuff like that, but we want it to be handled different, and that's the whole point of it. That's the whole point entirely. Secondly, if we want to integrate multiplayer in, a lot of the multiplayer functions are really picky about when you want to play single player. So you have to handle things differently there, which isn't hard, but you just have to do it. And that rant is basically useless because there's no useful information in there really, right? But there could be if you followed something. I know I kind of hyped up and kind of asleep still. So this tick manager thing, this thing is retarded and I don't like it, so we are going to probably get rid of it. Oh, it's like I said, this capsule. Yeah, this is what we want, right? So let's go into our multiplayer portion of it, probably, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We've got our input stuff, late updates. This is all clamped down to what it needs to be. Okay, so mouse does not need this stuff. Tick manager, we have this, delegates, and you know what? I don't even care about this. This can go away. World controller doesn't do anything. Gunplay, okay. And we have all this. Oh, we'll get rid of this update since we don't have that. And that is probably it for today. I don't want to melt you guys' brains, but in the next few videos we'll be discussing the multiplayer aspects of everything. So thanks for watching. Peace out, guys, and take care, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. This war over and out.